All my new subscribers, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. I see a lot more white subscribers who I feel like are interested in anti-racism, and thank you for coming on over here. We are all about anti-racism on this channel. We are unapologetic in our existence, the same way everyone else is. I don't require kneeling, crying, but you can drop a CashApp. Okay, you can drop a CashApp, or you can head on over to Patreon and get more exclusive content there. What's up, Steelies? My voice is sitting low because I'm upset. This is not something that I was prepared to talk about at this point. The racism that I've endured in PWIs. I've talked a lot about classism, and I also understand that a lot of the prejudice that I received at PWIs was interlaced with racism and classism. I do not understand the experience of growing up in the suburbs. I do not understand that. I spent a lot of time in the suburbs as a kid that grew up in the city. But as a Black girl who grew up in the foster care system in the inner city, no, I don't know what life is like to be one of the chosen ones who gets a bedroom that is only theirs and all of their stuff doesn't get stolen by random foster kids and your foster mom's biological children. I don't understand what it's like to have people cut the crust off my sandwiches and to say, no, I don't want pizza, I want burgers. I don't know what that life is like. I do not know. And I have no idea what Black people who grew up in the suburbs are told by their parents, besides what I've witnessed firsthand myself. And that's why I speak on it. And I feel like they were told that they were special and there's something special about them and that they're not like the other Black people. I experienced a lot of classism from Black kids that grew up in the suburbs, which is so weird because it's like, are you in the suburbs today? I know I am. Anyways, let's get to the racists. Off to the racists, the royal racists. Being a teaching artist and teaching kids, and thank God I'm not currently in a program because they probably fire me the way that they're firing all these Black teachers who are out protesting for their children. Because they have a different agenda in these schools where these Black and brown kids are. And it's not to empower and enlighten and educate them. It's to get what they want from them. Okay? I mean, there are kids in these schools, they have nothing in their backpack. There's nothing in their backpack. And they will get through the entire day and there's nothing in their backpack. And we have English second language courses. For example, I've had students who didn't speak very good English because they had just come to America, take my classes, and their parents say, your classes are helping my child learn English better. And I don't tolerate them being made fun of because their first language is Spanish. I don't tolerate it. It's beautiful to know multiple languages. So why are you trying to make fun of them because their first language is Spanish? They're going to get better jobs than you because they know 2 languages. So catch up. I think it's great to know as many languages as possible. Trust me. Why would you be content with somebody talking about you and you don't know what they're saying? I'm not content with that. Anyways, that being said, there are kids in these schools who don't speak English. They don't understand when you speak to them in English. And I think that is a failure of the school system. I don't know what they're doing with these kids. But when a Black teacher comes in and says, we're gonna get it done because we're speaking to them in our culture from the streets and the neighborhoods we grew up in, giving them what we know they need, they don't want that in there. And I think that's a grave injustice. I had more strict teachers than I'll ever be in a white private Catholic school. But they don't want strict teachers in these schools with these Black and brown kids. I will say this generally about my experiences with racism and PWI. For my Steelies that haven't pledged over on Patreon yet, it was very disappointing to be gaslit simultaneously having to deal with racism. That was something that I couldn't fathom. Also, almost everyone in these PWIs knew because I've never been ashamed to acknowledge where I come from. As I told someone who asked me, how do I tell my coworkers that I grew up in foster care? I told them, you have to get comfortable with the fact that that's your story. and be unapologetic because there's nothing you did wrong. I've always felt that way, and so I've always acknowledged, like, well, everyone's talking about your mom and dad's. Like, I grew up in foster care, so that's not my experience. So all these people knew that from the age I was 5 years old to 25 years old, all PWIs. And people took advantage of that. And people took advantage of the fact that I had no advocates. People took advantage of the classism and elitism, and people were cliquey. And it made me suicidal. But I won't get any apologies for that because they justify it as black women, bitchy. I'm not gonna kiss your ass. And if you find me to be an enemy, you are my enemy. I'm not Jesus. You can ask for forgiveness all you want, but I really could give a damn. You could hit the CashApp. Go to your Lord for forgiveness. I see your black squares. You're fucking hypocrites. If I ever encounter you via social media, you're gonna get called out. That's one of the reasons I don't follow you people. But I see you hovering around my social media. I see you. And what you did was wrong. And that is why it's being called out, because it's been a boiling point. You couldn't help yourselves. You were so racist. I worked at a nonprofit, and the racism was disguised as professionalism, and it was tolerated, and it was accepted. But the moral complacency of the black people that worked there, it's a lot to deal with, especially for me, because I didn't have parents telling me everything was going to be okay and, you know, you're special. I didn't have that. So I just had to listen to and believe everything everyone else ever told me. And it took me years, and it took a lifetime for me to get over that. You know, I'm not the same person today at all, and I don't pretend to be. That's one of the reasons why if I ever saw somebody that I don't fuck with you in public, I would never say hi, because I don't know you, and you damn sure don't know me. I educated myself on what was going on, and that's one of the reasons I've been calling out racism and classism for years. One of the reasons I never went as hard on the racists was because of the gaslighting that people who call themselves Democrats or progressives did. Because you admit that the right doesn't want you, right? So they won't even let you in their spaces. We'll let you over here. And then you're racist? That's sick. That's sick. You reap what you sow. One of the reasons that I don't have to forgive nobody, because I'm not Jesus, that forgiveness shit don't faze me, because people were very cruel to me and were bullies to me, and they justified it. And I know you don't treat white women like that. And nobody stood up for me and called out what was happening in any of these spaces. No one had my back. I've had very professional experiences since, and I've enjoyed all of my professional experiences in New York City. Ain't that funny? You don't have to say the N-word to be racist. You don't have to be dressed in a Ku Klux Klan outfit. Simply not valuing black life and thinking that for some reason your lack of melanin, lack of lips, makes you superior to anyone. It does not. Now you guys know. Been telling you for years, but now it took all the companies in the world so now you know. Wow. Wow, it's so great. All right, thank you so much for watching, you guys. Again, head on over to Patreon and pledge there if you want more specific details about this story. Oh, don't forget to hit the notification bell. See you guys next time.
Pretty. Yeah, I know, sweetie. I know. Oh.
She wants me to pet her. That's what it's all about. It's all about pretty. It's all about pretty, huh? Look at who we have. Cersei the Shiba Inu. I know. Oh, God.